Hi everyone. Today we learn organs of speech. Speech organs are one of the most important subjects in the study of phonetics. The organs which takes part in the production of speech sounds are called speech organs. Every languages use a certain number of sounds. These sounds differ from language to language. When we breathe out air from the lungs, various organs in the vocal tract control or modify the air stream to convert it into the speech sounds. These organs are called the vocal organs or the organs of speech. The protection of speech sound, however, is not the primary functions of the so-called vocal organs, as these are used for the more important task of breathing and eating. In the following, I am going to introduce you to the basic concepts of speech anatomy, where three central mechanisms are responsible for production of speech, and we will look at them in detail. The organs of speech can be divided into following three stages: respiration, phonation, articulation. Respiration, where the lungs produce the necessary energy in form of steam of the air. Phonation, where the larynx soars as a modified to the air stream, and this responsible for phonation. Articulation, where the vocal cords modifies and modulates the air stream by means several articulators. Let us let us look at these mechanisms in detail, and let's start with respiration. The respiration, the action of the lungs and the muscles of the chest has been elaborately described in the first topic on airstream mechanism. But now let's briefly discuss about that. Now, before it can be any sound produced at all has to be some form of energy in speech. The energy takes the form of the stream of air normally coming from the lungs. The lungs air is normally refers to pulmonic air. The pulmonic aggressive airstream mechanism is most commonly used in spoken languages all over the world. This respiratory system is used in normal breathing and in speech. What is interesting is the way we change our normal pattern of breathing to neglects to speak. Normally we breathe in and out every 2 or 3 seconds. You can try it if you like. When we speak, we breathe in quickly and then we let out air very slowly. So during normal breathing, inhalation and exhalation cover refers in same tower. In speech, inhalation is relatively short, whereas the exhalation period during which the audible output is produced covers the relatively long period. So, when we speak, our lungs slow down the flow away. The air coming from the lungs when we move through our trachea, some of the people calling windpipe, into the throat, and on the way the air passes the larynx and then we exhale the air either from nose or mouth. The second one is phonation. Let's look at larynx. The primary function of the larynx, which you can see here, the primary function, the primary biological functions to process of this larynx, a hollow tubular structure connected to the top of the windpipe trachea. Air passes through the larynx on its way to the lungs. The larynx also produces vocal sounds and prevents the passage of food and other foreign particles into lower respiratory tracts. In speech production, The larynx modifies their airflows from the lungs in such a way as to produce a Gaussian signal. The gas come from the lungs passes between the vocal folds, sometimes called vocal cords. The most important facts of vocal cords or vocal folds action is production of audible vibration, a buzzing sound known as voice or vibration. Let's look at them the detail. The vocal cord are placed horizontally from front to back. The space between the vocal cords is called the glottis. The vocal cords can be opened and closed because they are attached in front and can be separated at the back. In fact, when we swallow food or water, the vocal cords shut the glottis completely, and this prevents the food or water from entering the windpipe. As already we discussed, sound produced with the wide open glottis are called voiceless sounds, such as the first sound in English words pin, thin, cat, few, sa. This is a voiceless sound. So, the vocal cords wide apart the glottis in fully open position for breathe in voiceless sound. This picture refers to the voiceless sound. When the vocal cords are held together loosely, the pressure of air from the lungs make them vibrate, that is, open and close rapidly. The sound produced when the vocal cords vibrate are called voiced sound, such as all the sounds in English words gun, zoo, measure. That's it. So vocal cords held loosely together position for vibration in voiced sounds. The vibration of the vocal cords is important for another reason as well. The rate of vibration called the frequency of vibration of the vocal cords determine whether the pitch of the voice is high or low. All the sounds produced in English are either voiced or voiceless. Voiced sounds occur when the vocal cords vibrate. The sound is produced. This is no vocal cords vibration when producing voiceless sound. Do you want to test it? Well, place your fingertip against your throat or larynx. As you say the sounds, when you saying the voiced sounds, you should be able to feel a vibration. When you saying the voiceless sound, you should not be able to feel a vibration. Okay. Then voicing in the difference between pair of sounds such as hissing sound and buzzing sound. The hissing sounds is voiceless sound. The buzzing sound is voiced sound. Third one, the articulation. Well, what is happening next once the air passes in the trachea and glottis? It enters long tubular structures known as the vocal tract. This is the vocal tract consists of oral and nasal passage. Here is the vocal tracts. The parts of the vocal tracts that can be used to form sounds are called the articulators. The articulators in the lower part of the mouth often move towards those at the upper surface of the mouth. The lower articulators are therefore called the active articulators. They can be divided into two kinds: active articulator, passive articulator. The main active articulators are the lower lips, tongue, glottis, uvula. The lower lip actively involved in round involves, such as the sound fa, fa. The tongue is the most important articulators in the speech organs. It moves in different ways in different shapes to produce speech sounds. Tongue is divided into 5 parts. First one is tip of the tongue, second, blade of the tongue, third, front of the tongue, fourth, back of the tongue, fifth, root of the tongue. The clatters with which we produce some specific consonants, and uvula which is actively involved in some consonants. The active articulators are supported by number of passive articulators which considers on the screen. Alveolar ridge, soft palate, hard palate, pharynx, larynx. The alveolar ridge. The alveolar ridge includes the area between the upper front teeth and the hard palate to produce alveolar consonant sounds. Next one, hard palate. Hard palate, a thin horizontal bony plate of the skull located in the roof of the mouth. The interactions between the tongue and the hard palate is essential in the formation of certain speech sounds. And then soft palate. Soft palate, it should have a holes forming that function during speech to separate the oral cavity from the nose in order to produce the oral speech sounds. Finally, pharynx. The pharynx is like a tube beginning just above the larynx and ending 2 parts. The structure that holds and manipulates the vocal tracts. These are passive articulators which are involved in the protection of speech sound, but not move. Thank you, girls.